Okay, well, good afternoon, everybody. We are focusing on the storm system for that's hitting us right now here in Minnesota and Wisconsin, but really should crank up as we head into this evening and overnight hours. Right now, what you're looking at is the expected snow totals, or at least snow potential from the WPC, which are the snow predictors from the National Weather Service out in Washington, D.C. Anyway, just for reference, here's Minneapolis and St. Paul. Here's Eau Claire and western Wisconsin here. And of course, the Minnesota border with Iowa right here. What it's showing is that the greatest potential for 2 inches of snow, which would be in this blue and orange area, basically goes from the Twin Cities metro and Eau Claire, Wisconsin, on north to Duluth. That would be by tomorrow morning, greater than 2 inches of snow. In fact, if we put the 4-inch figure in there, greater than 4 inches, the WPC is fairly confident, about 50 to 70% confidence, that much of the Twin Cities metro on east into western Wisconsin will receive 3, 4, 5 inches of snow as we head into tomorrow morning. And then, of course, tomorrow afternoon, that snow area just moves east into northwestern and north central Wisconsin. So, not a surprise that we're still keeping snow in the forecast. As mentioned the last couple of days, this is going to be a heavy, wet snow. It likely would hit pretty quick, and it's going to surprise some people, but it shouldn't surprise us. We've been talking about this for a while. This is the NAM-WRF computer model, what I'm showing you now. This is a high-res model that many of us in the weather business rely upon for short-term forecasting. A little bit scary here. It's showing over 6 inches of snow over the heart of the Twin Cities metro by Wednesday morning. In fact, let's get to Wednesday morning. This would be 7, well, actually, this is about 7 a.m. Wednesday morning now. You can see 6, 7 inches of snow in the heart of the Twin Cities metro, and then the 4-inch plus range of snow over much of eastern, portions of southeastern Minnesota, and then into the northern half of Wisconsin. Really what it comes down to is that confidence is fairly high that significant snow is going to fall from the I-94 corridor on north. So east central Minnesota, northwestern and north central Wisconsin. I'm a little bit hesitant to predict 3, 4 inches of snow down here in southeastern Minnesota, such as Rochester, Albert Lea, because it's just basically too warm, not only at the surface, but in the lower and mid levels of the atmosphere down here. I'm not saying it couldn't happen. There is certainly potential for it, but I'm more hesitant to predict accumulating snow from the Rochester and Albert Lea area on east and south. Next model that we're going to be taking a look at, this is the composite reflectivity from the HRRR computer model, another high-res model that predicts about 18 hours into the future. This is going to give you a good idea of where snow is going to be falling, when I expect rain to change to snow. This is as of about 8 a.m. this morning. You can see the mixture, or I'm sorry, as of 1 p.m. this afternoon, you can see mixture of rain and snow over the Twin Cities and western Wisconsin. And then as we go in to the afternoon and then evening hours, again, that mix becomes fairly prevalent over southeastern Minnesota, east central Minnesota, northwestern Wisconsin. And then it becomes all snow as we get another surge of energy and moisture, so that by about 9 or 10 p.m., which is this image, forecasted radar image, you can see, again, from the Twin Cities metro on east to Eau Claire, so basically I-94 on north, the HRRR computer model is predicting snow. This would be heavy, wet snow, concrete-like snow falling late this evening. And then here's that mix. Again, this is why I'm worried as you travel south of the Twin Cities, and I'm worried to predict snow down there, because a mixture of ice and some rain by later this evening in those areas. And then finally, you can see the snow starts to taper by about 4 or 5 a.m. tomorrow morning over east central Minnesota and west central Wisconsin. The reason why we're having such a problem predicting if this is going to be rain or snow is because of the 850 millibar temperatures. So basically, these are the temperatures in the lower layers of our atmosphere. And you can see from the NAM 4K computer model This is 850 millibar temperatures. And what we're looking for is this purple area, this purple and then this gray area. That is the divider. That's the rain snow line. This is where it's at the present time. And then watch what happens as we go through time this afternoon. The rain snow line starts to sink south, so that by the middle of this evening, about 9 o'clock this evening, it should be just cold enough, barely cold enough for this to turn to, for this rain and ice to turn to snow over the Twin Cities metro on east into Wisconsin, including the Eau Claire area. And then as we continue to go through time, you can see it becomes certainly cold enough for snow for pretty much everyone by about tomorrow morning, by about sunrise tomorrow morning. Again, this is the reason why I'm expecting any liquid precipitation to change to some snow by about the middle and latter portions of this evening. Let's take a look at the satellite loop, and we're going to put this loop into motion. This is the infrared satellite that we're going to be looking at. And what I want you to focus on, let's go back real quick, one moment. What I want you to focus on is what's happening here over Nebraska and Iowa. We're looking for cloud tops to cool, which means we want them to turn this yellow and green color. That means cloud tops are cooling. If they start cooling, that means that this storm system is going to intensify. You can see these last few frames. This is pretty important. Look at how these cloud tops are cooling over Nebraska and now approaching western Iowa. This is a pinwheeling storm system, actually a strengthening storm system over northeastern Kansas, and it's going to move northeast towards Chicago and Milwaukee areas. And of course, that would place a pivot or a deformation axis of snow over southern Minnesota, eastern Minnesota, and then over the northern half of Wisconsin. So all indications, not only model guidance, but also satellite imagery and radar imagery, is confirming that the storm system may be intensifying, and that could mean snow over the Twin Cities and Wisconsin. In fact, a very likelihood of wet snow over much of east central Minnesota and west central Wisconsin heading into this evening and the overnight hours. Here's the radar summary over the upper Midwest. Not difficult to shoot or to tell where that storm system is starting to pivot and pinwheel. Low pressure right over north central northeastern Kansas, pivoting axis of precipitation over Nebraska and Iowa, and that is moving straight northeast and will likely intensify some as we head into the overnight hours. Now, looking ahead, this is going to be very important as we're planning ahead. We are in an active weather pattern. Here's our storm system today. This is called a trough right now over the central portion of the United States. This is that buckle in the jet stream. This is the jet stream at 250 millibars. So we're going to be looking for these buckles, because every time that jet stream buckles, that means a storm system is likely going to affect our area here, Minnesota and Wisconsin. So this is today and overnight tonight. Here's another buckle as we head into Thursday night and Friday morning. Not as strong of a trough or a buckle in the jet stream, but still another disturbance heading in for late Thursday. Then we get a break as a ridge develops over the central and northern portions of the United States. But look at what's happening over the western half of the United States. This is a massive trough that's developing out there over the weekend. Very strong winds entering the desert southwest. Jet stream winds, powerful, which means a significant storm system moving on coast this weekend. And look at what happens with this jet stream as we head into early next week. And watch how this closed low, this circular area in the jet stream pattern, develops as we head into Monday and Tuesday. This is a monster storm system for early next week. And this storm system looks like it's going to sit and spin over the upper Midwest for much of next week. So not only does that mean precipitation, but it certainly could mean snow for many of us, and perhaps even some rain initially Sunday and Monday before everything turns to snow. And why is it going to turn to snow? Well, because of our temperatures. Here are our temperatures today and into tomorrow morning. Of course, we're very close to that rain snow line. We're looking for that light blue line. That's the 32-degree Fahrenheit line, your rain snow line in theory, in the lower layers of our atmosphere. And then here it is tomorrow. Again, we're going to be not only Thursday into Friday, we'll be dealing with that 32-degree rain snow line, not only today, but heading into Thursday and even into Friday, we'll be dealing with that. But then watch what happens. Here's this weekend. Becomes way too warm for any type of frozen precipitation Saturday and Sunday. And then the massive storm system starts to crank up over the upper Midwest. Here it is Tuesday, and look at how our atmosphere really cools, not only Tuesday, but heading into Wednesday and Thursday. Some colder air. This is actual Arctic air now pouring in next week behind the storm system. So lots going on, lots to talk about. So we're going to be very busy here in the upper Midwest, not only today, but heading into the next 7 to 10 days. One last graphic I did want to show you, and of course this is the hourly precipitation graph. Again, we're getting these spits of rain and at least a little bit of ice, not only this morning but into this afternoon. We may get a little bit of a break during the middle portions of the afternoon, but then look at what I'm expecting to happen as we head into the 7 and 8 o'clock time frame. That second surge of moisture moves up out of Iowa and Nebraska, and the rain and ice will likely quickly change to wet snow from about 7 or 8 p.m. this evening all the way through about 4 or 5 a.m. We'll likely have some breaks, so this would be periods of snow. We have some breaks, but no doubt that we have the potential for 2-4 inches, maybe even more, of snow over east central Minnesota and western Wisconsin before the snow comes to an end early tomorrow morning, probably around sunrise, and then we will likely be dealing with some drizzle or freezing drizzle during the morning and maybe even into the afternoon hours tomorrow. So even after the snow falls, we won't be done, because drizzle or maybe even some freezing drizzle could make road conditions quite hazardous in the upper Midwest. All right, well, we'll be giving you updates here over the next, not only today, but over the next week because of this active weather pattern. Have a great afternoon.